Welcome back to the channel. This is the Royal Realm. My name is Elroy. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that I have been thinking about for quite a while, and obviously there is a lot of speculation about the Switch Online service and what systems are coming next. Before we do begin though, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the like button as well if you do enjoy this video, or if you're just looking forward to this system coming to the Switch Online service. I'm not going to waste your time. Let's get into this. The Switch Online service obviously has the Nintendo Entertainment System on there. There are games from there, and obviously a lot of the games came from the NES Classic, and they've been building up that repertoire of games for quite a while. And then we had the Super Nintendo Classic, the mini edition, and a lot of those games also came out, I think it was about a year later, onto the Switch Online service, and they basically have been building that catalog much slower, I might add, but they have been building those catalogs up for quite a while, slowly. It used to be each month. I'm not even sure if they've still done each month, just because those games, you know, people I think kind of lost their excitement for the online service and the NES and SNES games that are coming out. Today's basic topic and the question or the thought that I kind of had is this. Obviously we have a lot of information that's coming out suggesting that there is going to be a revised Switch coming out possibly later this year, which everyone is suggesting. It's been aptly named the Switch Pro. We don't know if it's going to be called that. I more likely think that it's going to be the Switch XL or something like that, considering that Nintendo does like to call their systems, at least their handheld systems, the XL and the Lights, so that kind of makes sense in that scenario. So I'm thinking that it'll be the Switch XL as opposed to the Switch Pro, but we'll see how we go with that one. My actual thought process on this is, why isn't the Nintendo 64 there, or another system there yet? Will that be the next one? By the way, the N64, is that the one that they've been waiting for to bring out for us? Because obviously people are excited, and there is a lot of fans for the N64 console and those games that would come out for there. Obviously you have classics like Majora's Mask, yes, is one of them, Ocarina of Time, and Super Mario 64, and I know that we did get Super Mario 64 in the 3D All-Stars that came out just last year. But who knows what could actually happen if we do get another system and the 64 on the Switch Online service. My thought is this. There are two possible ways that this could go. Firstly, the next system that they might introduce to the online service could be the Game Boy line of systems, which is the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. That would be one of the options that they could do. If Nintendo did want to go that route, I'm sure a lot of people would be very happy. The Game Boy Advance games especially are incredibly beautiful, and they hold up very well today in terms of it being basically like a Super Nintendo level quality, but a handheld. It was pretty epic for the day. The Game Boy Advance was amazing, and you know, basically having those games on there would be epic as a Switch Online scenario. But also the other route obviously would be not to go handheld and to go the Nintendo 64 route, which I think is a very much more likely option that they may want to go with. And my thought there is, considering that the Switch Pro is potentially coming out, Switch Pro, Switch XL, whatever you want to call it, okay? It is probably going to come out this year, maybe early next year. I would assume in conjunction with Breath of the Wild 2, that sequel that everyone has been waiting for eagerly for quite some time. And we've obviously, 2019, we got that nice video of the game, and we've been waiting for any more information since. My assumption is that that game will come out alongside the Switch Pro. But what I also think is this: the Switch Pro will be a more advanced service, more advanced system, hopefully, I'm guessing. And what I would reckon they would do is, on the online service, although this might cost them a bit of money initially, the online service may mean that if you have a Switch XL, let's call it that, that you may get access to, if you have the online service and a Switch XL, the N64 line of games. Now listen, I know that sounds like a bogus thing. It sounds pretty stupid, like Nintendo would be losing so much cash, and I understand where you're coming from in that sense, but I just wanted you to think about it from the perspective of the 3DS to the new 3DS, when they had those the NES games and the SNES games. Now, why I bring that up is because on the 3DS, the initial 3DS coming out, you could purchase Nintendo Entertainment games on to your 3DS, and it wasn't until the new 3DS came out that you couldn't play SNES games on that system, and you definitely could not play them on the original 3DS. You needed the new 3DS in order to be able to play the Super Nintendo games. So my theory is this: when the XL or Pro or whatever the heck you want to call the Switch, when that system comes out, my theory is that the 64 will be released alongside that, or the next system of games, the next line, whatever they're thinking, is going to be released alongside that upgraded model, and people will need to get that upgrade in order to play those games. Now, the thing is, while it does seem like a loss, and I agree, it probably does seem like it's pretty stupid for Nintendo to do that, it isn't really that bad. If you think about it, people are already still playing for the online service, and realistically, you want the online service to play online with your friends. You're not looking to play Nintendo Entertainment System games or Super Nintendo games if that's, what you're into, because obviously there are a myriad of ways that you can do that. You could have gotten the SNES Classic or the NES Classic if you wanted to really play those games. I have not seen too many games on the online service that really make me think, dang, I wish that they'd put that on the NES Classic. I think that the NES Classic has all of the games that you needed if you really love Nintendo games specifically. Obviously, there's a myriad of games that were not released on the Classic, and that's due to a lot of things, I'm sure. But, those are the things that I think would happen with this online service, and I think that's why we haven't seen another line yet. I don't think that they're going to jump from the Super Nintendo straight to things like the GameCube or the Wii. I highly doubt we're going to get those games on an online service for quite a while. I doubt we'll get a Wii Shop ever again. One of those, the console, that you had on the Wii and the Wii U, the Virtual Console. That's the one. I doubt you'll get that. If you look at the way Nintendo has been doing this, the online service is where they're putting everything. The online service is where the power is, because let's be realistic, that generates money. It generates money for them, and they're going to want that cash, and they're going to want it every year, and it makes more sense for them to do that. So that's the way that I see it. I think that the Nintendo 64, if it does come out this year, if it comes onto the online service, which I think it does have potential to do, if it comes there, I think that the N64 will come out on a Pro exclusive online platform, so you will need the Switch Pro in order to play it. I'm not sure how they would lock you out or cap that. I'm not sure how any of that would work, but that is just a theory that I'm running with for today, for this video, and that is why I think that the N64 would actually be the next system to put onto the online service. It actually makes the most sense. Obviously, there are some great games that you're not going to get a hold of on the online service, regardless of it having the 64 on there. Games like GoldenEye 007, that game was undoubtedly epic. Probably isn't as great to play now. The feel with that controller is terrible, but that game, when it came out, was just an epic game. And if you didn't like that game, I don't even know why. Do you even like first-person shooters? That's the question I'd ask. I'm just kidding, but that's seriously, that is what I'm thinking. With the Switch online service, that they will be bringing the 64, my guess, to the online service on a Pro format, just to make sure that not only does the Pro sell, because obviously it will sell, it is one of those features, but in order to push people that were probably not considering purchasing the Switch XL, Pro, whatever the heck you want to call it, the Switch Large, obviously people who may not have been thinking about purchasing that, making sure that a system or console on the online service is locked to that system, that console, makes sense. It will push sales, it will get people to purchase it, and I'm telling you right now, if Nintendo did that, people will complain at first. Everyone understand that. People definitely will complain at first. But if Nintendo sticks to their guns, people will purchase the XL just to play that console, even though they're not probably going to play that console very often. Let's be realistic. Okay, there are new games coming out all the time, and you're going to want to play those games as opposed to playing classic games realistically. Okay, but that is all for me from the video. If you have any thoughts on this whole topic, please let me know in the comment section down below, and also hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Again, I'm not gonna beg for your subscription, but please subscribe. That would be great if you could. No, I'm kidding, but thank you so much for joining me. If you're still here, I'm sorry I took up so much of your time. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.